Mom finds human bites on son's back. What daycare said was even more shocking. Every morning, Victoria Delgado and her husband, Francisco Rivas, who live in San Antonio, left their house to go to work. Since they lived alone, they did not have anyone who could look after their 1.5-year-old son, Noah Rivas. As a result, they left their kid at daycare and picked him up on their way home from work. The daycare center, located near South W.W. White Road, became the subject of interest for a local news channel after Francisco noticed unusual marks on Noah's arms on the afternoon of March 1, 2023. Instead of going home, Francisco showed the marks to one of the employees and asked if they were bite marks and went inside the facility to report Francisco's findings. Later that night, Delgado found 6 more bite marks on her toddler's back when she was giving him a bath. She felt furious when she saw those marks on her child's body, thinking it must have really hurt him. She was very upset because her son was too little to tell her what had happened at the daycare. She thought he must have been crying, screaming, and scared. Delgado believed this because he had 8 bite marks on his skin. Delgado drove Noah to the hospital, where physicians gave him antibiotics after confirming that the marks were caused by child bites. When Francisco told the lady who works at the daycare about the bite marks on his child, she came back and said that there was no record of such an incident at the center. She also said that the teacher who was looking after the kids had gone home, so they could only report about it the next day. At that moment, the dad didn't really ask more questions and went back home. But later on, he realized that the daycare workers must have seen those bite marks when they were changing Noah's clothes or feeding him. He said, "They didn't call us and ask, 'Hey, did your son have any bites?' This wasn't the first time something unusual had happened at the daycare center. Noah had a lip injury 2 weeks prior when he fell at home, and when they took him to daycare the next day, the staff requested them to fill out an incident report form. They don't know anything about incident reports right now, but they were quick when they noticed the lip," Delgado recalled. So, what about this incident? The mother believed the daycare should have asked them to fill out the same form if Noah got those bite marks at home. When Delgado saw the bite marks on her little one's back, she called the daycare and spoke to the director. The director said she was sorry and promised to look at the video footage to figure out what happened. But when Delgado talked about it later, she remembered that the director told her she didn't know what happened because she wasn't at the daycare that day. However, even though the director said she would check the video, Delgado and Francisco still haven't received a phone call from her to tell them what she found in the video. They're waiting for her to call and explain what really happened. The mom told the police in San Antonio and a news channel about what happened at the daycare, but they couldn't talk to the people who run the daycare. The next day, Noah's grandpa went to the daycare and talked to one of the workers. He recorded their conversation. He told the worker that what happened to Noah was neglect and abuse. But the worker said they didn't see anything strange in the videos from the cameras. The rules in the state say that one person who takes care of the kids in daycare can watch over 9 kids who are between 18 and 23 months old. But the worker told Noah's grandpa that on that day, one teacher was watching 10 kids, which is more than the rules allow. Delgado shared a recent update about the situation on her Facebook page, resharing the news outlet's post covering their story with a post reliving the worst nightmare of my life. "I can't help but be so angry, so sad, so hurt. I'm crying all over again. I pray none of the parents have to go through something so horrific and traumatizing." She continued in her post, "This should not have happened to my son. This is unacceptable, and somebody needs to be held accountable. Praying and hoping we get the answers we deserve." When people online learned about the incident, they expressed their concerns in the comments section. One netizen said, "How could this baby not be heard? He had to have been screaming or crying. This is unbelievable. Keep fighting, parents. No baby should go through this," and there has to be videos, or else they are hiding it. They wished the family would get to the bottom of the situation.